The recording thing just came up. Here we go then.
Here we go.
Daniel looking like a Russian cage fighter.
I mean, I'm literally gonna come in, break some people's noses, like.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another Emulsion video. Today we're going to be looking at Retropan 320. We've all shot it differently, we've all shot it at different times, and we've all developed it ourselves. So we're going to go through everyone's images and just give a honest review of what we thought of it. So Matthew was the first one to shoot Retropan.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Matthew doesn't have any video of him shooting it because I didn't give him a brief before he shot it. So that's my bad. But so Matthew, what do you think of the film?
Yeah, I liked it. I wouldn't shoot it again. I wouldn't shoot it again because it's obviously very grainy. Like, you can tell that.
Yeah.
Just like off first viewing. And it's also like, there's just something about the way it handles shadows and like grey areas that just doesn't look very nice. But if that's the sort of aesthetic you're going for, like, yeah, sweet. Mm-hmm. I can see it working in certain things, but for the sort of stuff I do, I just can't see myself shooting it, especially when it's the same price as HP5 or something.
Yeah, it's a little bit cheaper than HP5, but it's in the same kind of bracket.
Yeah.
I mean, HP5 is such a good price for what you get. So
yeah.
I thought it was very grainy, and it didn't hold up in the shadows, but it does have a nice characteristic to it, like the tonality of it.
I do like the way the highlights sort of glow out, like they've got like a bit of a relation to them. I don't know if that's the right word, but they're very glowy, which I really liked. Which, I mean, I think it could look really good with flash.
Yeah, I was thinking similar. Like, I think if you put, because it is a wee bit cheaper, throw it in a point and shoot, like if you're going to a party or something.
Or
I think
you're going for like a really grim aesthetic.
Yeah,
like really like
kind of like journalistic, like press photos or something like that.
That's what
I'm for. Then we'll pass it over to Michael, who also shot it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Michael?
I shot it there either. Basically the same as Matthew. I mean, it's not really going to change that much depending on who shoots it. I assume Matthew shot at 320 as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, 320 is a bit weird to shoot things on. So it kind of took a wee bit to get used to exposures and stuff. But yeah, it was just very grainy. It kind of blew me away by how grainy it was. I didn't really expect it, especially when I saw Matthew's first. I was really keen to try it. But yeah, I don't know what to say because Matthew's kind of covered everything.
What's also interesting is that you two both used Ilfotech HC developer, and me and Daniel used ID11.
I mean,
kind of getting similar results, but
I only have the Ilfotech HC, so I wasn't really too sure on how long to develop it for, and my thermometer broke, so I just had to kind of gauge temperature. So it was kind of a wee bit random, but it did come out okay, I think. So yeah, I think it was 7 minutes 30, right?
Yeah, I developed mine for 7:30.
Yeah. So
do you have any images?
Saying to Lewis about, hold on, just one thing I was saying to Lewis about was about the amount of developer used. So obviously ID11, mine and Lewis rules were developed at the same time. Did you find that you had to use more HC.
No,
Well,
it
there's
was
like
well,
just
1
on
to
the-
31.
yeah, it was 1 to 31. So
Yeah.
I put in. I only developed one rule, obviously. So it was only about 9 milliliters of developer. So
Yeah, with ID 11, it only gave me on massive dev chart. It only gave me an option to use stock developer instead of diluted. So that's why it took so much. I don't know if there's any formulas for using stock for it, but I can only find stock. So that means that for each role I had to use 300 milliliters of developer, which is stock, which is quite a lot. So it was kind of costly in that regard. So like for
cheap film, but expensive development.
Exactly.
In a sense.
yeah, I don't know if it would really be worth it. I mean, it is one of those things where, like, it's fun to maybe shoot a roll or two just to kind of try it, but I really
It's kind of a novelty.
don't recommend anyone to shoot this. Like,
I think
for HP5.
potentially like pushing it even a stop and seeing how the grain then handles whenever you're at that higher stop. So say you pushed it to like, instead of going double 320, just push it straight to 800 and see like if it gets really, really grainy, but then as well like factoring in the cost of actually shooting another roll and then having to develop it for longer as well. So that's the only way I would probably shoot again, to be honest. I mean, not that I was like disappointed with the results, like use 3 now. I don't really shoot black and white film regardless. But it's kind of the same for me, like it's same difference.
Well, a way of like reducing that grain would be to pull it, maybe. I mean, pulling isn't really that common to do, but it's a way of like maybe bringing down that grain. I don't know. I've never really pulled film before, but actually, that's a lie. I pulled Delta 3200 right the way down to 200. I don't think I'd recommend.
What did it go? Like just muddy? Or just horrible?
The shadows just didn't really look the same. The shadows kind of just like went to black for some reason. I don't know. It was a long time ago as well, but I don't know. Maybe that would reduce the grain a little bit.
Yeah.
But it is quite strange for being below 400 ISO for it to be as grainy as it is.
Yeah,
I feel like it's made to look. I feel like the point of the actual film is
of Retropan is to be that grainy.
Yeah, it's called retro.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
it's
green
mental.
is-
It looks like static TV.
It's very like nostalgic, I think.
Yeah.
It kind of does.
Which I mean goes with the name. I guess it's Retropan, so you're shooting it for like a vintagey look.
Yeah.
a lot of my photos were of like fields coming up and then the sky above, and I found like just from the scans that the sky is just like the grain in it is just overwhelming. Like you can't really notice it too much in the blacks, and like it's not really there, but like when you're just shooting plain white, like the sky, it's just like
I find that too actually. Like seeing midtones are fine, shadows go muddy, so like I think it's like a balance of like shooting just pure gray works for the film, but when you try to go white or when you try to go black, it just can't handle it at all. Like I could see in the actual negatives, like there was like no information there in the shadows. It just was so thin, and I shot it like correctly exposed. Well, I thought it was anyway.
Yeah, a lot of the photos in my garden, which are kind of like mids, like a lot of greys, kind of neutral stuff. It's like kind of noticeable, but it looks quite similar to maybe like HP5 pushed to 1600. But yeah, it's definitely the whites and the highlights that it's just like it's really
it's no issue clipping information. Like
like even scanning it, you could see like the highlights were just way off.
Yeah,
like I don't know if it was the same for you, but my highlights were just way off. Like even checking it in the histogram, there was just no way to even get like anything out of them.
Just a note that we're all scanning on Epson flatbed scanners for these, so maybe if we were to send it to a lab and have like a a better scanner scan it, it wouldn't be as noticeable.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell because we don't send our black and white film to a lab, so I mean that may change, but even comparing it to HP5, which we do scan at home, it's a lot more grainy.
I think also the negatives, like whenever because I know I'm on this as well, when you took it off the spool after developing, it was very grey. Like it wasn't as kind of contrasty as just your negatives were.
Yeah.
From it, like I actually thought I didn't develop it for long enough.
But it looks underdeveloped.
Yeah, it really does, but it's fine. Like it really shocked me at first because I hung it up to dry. I was like, oh crap, I'll develop this, but no, it's a bit weird. Yeah.
I kind of shot my roll a lot of in the same place. I just went for a couple of walks over a couple of days, and I brought it out with my family walking and shot a lot of greenery. Went to a golf course, but like, yeah, as Michael said, like just in the sky, like it looks fine from like the grass to the trees, and then it just, as soon as it hits that sky, it just kind of, the grain looks like huge chunks. Or like, did you find that even some bits didn't even look like grain? They kind of just looked like,
yeah,
you could see through it. It was just white or something.
It is quite strange. I mean, it really does change depending on like photo and the light, but I did find like sometimes the skies were not too bad, kind of minimal, but it's like big hexagons in the sky. Like it was crazy.
I think it works quite nice for portraits. I don't know if you guys took many portraits with it, but I think it works well with skin tones, because the film is kind of soft. It's not like that super sharp, clarity-esque shot with, you could see all the detail in people's pores, and it doesn't kind of accentuate like maybe flaws in the skin. It's kind of like soft and like dreamy looking, so I think it works quite well for portraits because it is soft. If I was to shoot it again, it probably would be in a point and shoot.
Yeah, I'd like to see it with like flash at night, or because obviously like that you're not going to see that much like green in the shadows. Like it's still going to be there, but you're not going to like be able to visibly see it like you do in the highlights.
You can just crunch those to black or whatever in post.
Yeah.
Right, with straight stuff. I think. Because stuff I shooting just didn't really suit.
I think that was the original intention. Like whenever we all bought it in Dublin, we were doing.
Yes.
In Dublin.
I think it's quite abstract in my opinion.
Yeah. Sort of like a look where it's like it seems accidental. So like street photography that's like shot from the hip.
Yeah.
So where it's very like uncomposed. Kind
of reminds me of like what Lomography kind of go for. With their films, is very experimental.
Yeah.
Like as I was saying, I don't really shoot like an awful lot of black and white film, and I just kind of photographed like around where I live, because obviously like we're in lockdown, in lockdown, kind of still are in lockdown. I don't know. So I was just like, there's like one particular image that I quite like, which is like the house. It's like you can't really tell from the photo, but it's like an abandoned house at the very top of this like really, really built up area. But even at that, I think it's just like the framing, because there's not like the sky is just white there. It's not like you're seeing like an awful lot of green in it, and the majority of the photo is like surrounded by shadows, so you're kind of getting that silhouetting, just distracted from the green you're getting in the sky. So I think that's probably like why I favored that. But one thing I found with it, I feel like whenever you get that green in the sky, it doesn't complement the depth very well. Like it kind of makes it just makes it look a bit like more, I know it's obviously not a 3D image, but like it just kind of makes it look a bit flat, like you've shot it on, like I was shooting between a 35 and a 50. It just makes it look like you've shot it on like a telephoto.
Like the skies are just one tone.
Like it brings the sky forward.
Just because you have like one tone in the sky, and then you've got like maybe a grey and a black in like the foreground and mid, like then it just like, there was depth there, but because the sky is just like impossible to see it at that stage where it's just white, then I feel like it draws you out of the image a bit, just because of that grain. That's probably why I wouldn't shoot it again, because I feel like even on an overcast day, like if there's clouds in the sky, if you're shooting HP5, you're still going to get some detail there, and the grain's not going to be like crazy. So that's.
I'd love to try it in 120, just to see how that sort of thing translates. As if like see if it's as grainy, or if it's like somewhat savable with the size of the negative.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that's us. I'm just gonna show some more photos that each of us took, and we will see you in the next video. Goodbye.
All right.